So, I had to go to my cable company to swap out a cable box for my job, and lo and behold, they gave me model trains instead. Come on, seriously? What are you thinking? Let's cue the intro. So, um, late last August, the Railroad Museum of Long Island, um, based in Riverhead, and they have a satellite um, museum in Greenport, which is, um, for anyone who's not familiar with Long Island, with New York State, Eastern New York, east of New York City, is known as Long Island. You have Brooklyn and Queens used to be considered part of Long Island, but um, ideally it's Nassau County and Suffolk County. Suffolk being east of Nassau. So as you go further east in Suffolk County, um, past a certain point in Riverhead, um, the island forks off. You have the South Fork, which becomes the Hamptons and Montauk, and then the North Fork, you have Wine Country, um, Greenport, and um, Orient Point. Orient Point, New York, is where you could catch a ferry to go to New London, Connecticut. Um, Further west, you have Port Jefferson, um, which is east of Riverhead. No, west of Riverhead. West of Riverhead is another ferry that you could take to Bridgeport, Connecticut. Um, but I'm digressing. Greenport is on the North Fork of Long Island. That's where the Railroad Museum has a satellite. But the main action is in Riverhead. At this, so the Railroad Museum was hosting an event, and they're also having a fundraiser to restore a steam locomotive, Long Island Railroad number 39. I'll find a picture, put it in the video so you can see what I'm talking about. But what also drew me to going to what also drew me to going to the event was the word vendors. So I had to go, and um, the thing that I'm not sure if anyone else um, does the same thing, that when you go to a train show or to a swap meet, um, you kind of check the tables first to see what's for sale. That looks nice. Is it, do I really want to spend that? You want to like scope the area out before you um, make a deal, break out your wallet, um, and seal the transaction. So there weren't that many vendors there. Some did catch my eye. A few items did catch my eye. Others did not as much. But uh, unlike Greenberg, I am going to do this in the order in which I acquire these things. So, the first out of the bag is a IHC 462 Pacific in Reading. Um, the guy now there was no test. There were no test. There was no test track. So uh, whomever I bought this stuff off of, I took them at the word that these things did run. This fellow didn't know much about trains. He just priced this thing to sell. Yeah, it does say $15, and we have that. Along from the same vendor was um, were um, two Pennsylvania passenger cars in the Fleet of Modernism livery, and um, one, two, three heavyweight passenger cars. Now, there were the observation coach was missing its rear coupler, which it's an observation coach. Do we really need a rear coupler on there? And one of the Fleet of Modernism coaches is missing the coupler, but I have the replacement for it, so it's no big deal. The one thing that all these cars had in common is that they are IHCs. I'm not a particular big fan of the IHC passenger cars because they were when River Rossi stopped making the passenger cars, and I love River Rossi passenger cars. They were taken over by first they were taken over by Mahano, and then eventually some Chinese company. And the one way that you could differentiate, and I asked around, asked who makes these IHC passenger cars because I never had particularly good luck with the IHCs. And the answer that I got was it depends on the color of the box that it came in. If it's a red box IHC, then it was either manufactured by River Rossi or Mahano. If it's a blue box IHC, then it was made in China. But these had no box. These were loosey-gooseys. But the locomotive and these passenger cars I got for the princely sum of $30. And if I'm lying, I'm dying. Of course, I am going to have to replace the wheel sets because they have these shoddy plastic wheel sets. Yeah. Never had any particularly good luck with these wheel sets. So they are going to get proper metal wheels, which will add weight to these cars, because another thing that the IHC passenger cars are notorious for is that they are woefully underweight. There is no weight to these things. River Rossi's, there is some sort of weight to them. But the IHCs, the weight, you gotta add a little weight to them. So we have these nice little items. Hold on a second. So the next items that I picked up were in the gift shop of the Railroad Museum. The prices are fairly reasonable. Um, but what the two things that did catch my eye was this rear railer, manufactured by RAX, Power Plus Products, and an Athearn Blue Box, 86-foot cube boxcar. It is a kit, which means it does require assembly. Um, and I got these things for $13 plus tax. Uh, this was originally marked as $12, but there was a thing that said $10, so I said, what's going on here? So I got them for $13 plus tax. Now, the thing about this re-railer is ideal because I 3D printed this re-railer. And I use a Bamboo Lab A1 Mini 3D printer. And the maximum and the bed size is, if you convert it from millimeters, is a 7-inch square flat print bed. So I printed this. Now, this re-railer is ideal if you're using a freight car of this length. Sure, fine and dandy, slides down, but when you're dealing with a thrall boxcar, not so simple. It's a little bit longer. And so buying this was, it made perfect sense because it's easy peasy, lemon squeezy. So we have those items. And hold on one second. Moving right along. The last things that I acquired were from a fellow by the name of HECTOR MARRERO. He does have a Facebook Marketplace listing, and he is the person behind Big Boys, Trains, and Things. He does have a Facebook group, and he also posts live auctions on a website I've never even heard of before until I met him, called whatnot.com. It's apparently it's an auction site, and he occasionally hosts live auctions. And from him at his table, I picked up an Atlas Roco SD35 in Penn Central livery. Everything is very much intact. Everything is perfectly intact. And he tested and ran the locomotive prior to sale, and it ran fine. And I also picked up from him a lifelike proto RDC 2, I guess, in New Haven livery. He was selling it for $45, but I got both this and the SD35, which you saw the $40 price tag on. I got both for $60. And if I'm lying, I'm dying. And he assured me that this also ran well. Only thing I have to do is replace the couplers because the couplers are broken, which is a simple thing. And I mean, if you kind of think about it, if an RDC typically runs by itself, would you really need to put would you really need couplers? But I am going to put couplers on these things. When I placed this locomotive onto the Endurance mainline, it became very clear how and why I got this for so cheaply. Upon further examination, I discovered that the weights that belonged in the boiler section and the screw that held them in place were missing. So was the apron that sits in between the front of the boiler and the cow catcher. Sure, the motor runs like a champ, but the poor girl's been done wrong. Until I can repair this properly, I placed lead weights inside the boiler so it can have some pulling power despite starting and stopping intermittently. Well, I'm a happy camper despite the Reading Pacific's performance issues. So, with that being said, I'd like to thank my subscribers for their continued support. Shout out to Hector MARRERO at Big Boys Trains and Things. You can count on my continued patronage. If you're not a subscriber, there is a link in the bottom right hand corner. Please like and share this video. And, as always, thank you so much for stopping by. I'll see you soon.